Monday, the 9th of October, and it's still warm. I can't believe this. Having a shave today, I'm going to use the little Tabac. This is quite a nice, it's the Tabac original shave stick, and I've got to say I'm very fond of it. Anyway, shave today is a little bit of a special because I want to test out my big Spreacher, Max Spreacher blades. This is really not, I'd say, for the benefit of, but for the interest of Gary, who has some new Spreachers. And these Spreachers that I've got are a few years old. They've all wandered into me from America. One from Matt Robbins. Thank you, Matt. And that one is the only one I've actually honed myself. The others have their original edges, not necessarily original from Max Spreacher, but certainly original from the previous owner, who was, of course, the great and the famous Sergio Bandafrito in California. And I would say I'm very lucky that 2 are quarter hollows and 2 are half hollows. So this is a little test to see which I prefer. And I would say at the moment, without a doubt, I'm a half hollow person. But at the same time, we'll see, won't we? Right, just finish lavering up. And I'll get straight on. Of course, we've all got better things to do on a Monday morning. I just had a long conversation with a gentleman from Santander Bank, and trying to explain to me why they've lost so much of my money. But then that's what banks are for, isn't it? Make themselves rich, make their customers poor. Or at least don't help them at all. Anyway, that's another matter. So I wouldn't say I was in the best mood in the world, but it doesn't matter, does it? Relax. A little bit of water. Very useful. Keep hydrated. Yep, that'll do for me. I'm not that bothered. It's a rather nice smell to the Tabac original. I can't really give you any great details as to what it is. I imagine it's the same as on their bowl soap. Yes, doesn't actually say, but it's made in Germany. And most things that are good in the way of steel, soaps, brushes are German. Anyway, on that happy note, let me just dry my paws. Don't want to do the size of razors that I've got with wet paws. Okay, first and foremost, this is the one which originally came from Matt Robbins, from a customer that needed some work doing to it. I then did a little bit more because it had a warp in the blade. But this is the only one which has got my edge on it, and this is a 20K Suhiru. I've got to say, it's a lovely, lovely razor. I just couldn't stand having a beautiful blade like this with a slight warp. It was slight, so I'm not going to witter on about that. Yeah. Very slightly draggy on the moustache, but then that could be down to skin condition. I was out on seafront too long yesterday. Let's now try the other. Now, that was a quarter hollow. This is a quarter hollow. And this one is my very first that I got from Serge. And I've got to say, it is a masterpiece. Look at that. It's absolutely huge. It's not the biggest I've got. This is just under a 1010. So, but it's got massive steelwork because it is a quarter hollow. And although it weighs a ton, it's very, very comfortable. Yeah, just as good. I can't claim this is my edge, but I did all the extensive stropping just now, all the hanging hair tests, and they're all very good. So I'm going to leave a few bits of me mush for the other razors, so we can do a fair test. Yeah, it's good, no two ways about it. I'm not going to say it's absolutely wonderful. Oh, let's do the moustache and find out. Well, I'll be. It is actually slightly better. So my edge isn't the best. My 20K Tsuhiru Gukomyu edge, at least on that particular razor. Now, here we shall come to the interesting bit. Let's do this one. This is a RollsRoyce of a razor. This is probably my favourite. Not the most dramatic, but it's big. It's a big 10/8. It's got every known form of inlay. It truly is a masterpiece. But anyway, let's see how this one goes. Ooh. Listen to that. And that, folks, is the difference between a quarter hollow and a half hollow. A quarter hollow is soundless almost. And that isn't. Yep. Very impressive. As far as the actual cut goes, I shouldn't use that word, should you? As far as the stroke goes, I would say a quarter hollow is just as good. Which surprises me. We've got one more to try. Yep, very, very nice. But to be honest, the quarter hollows, just as good. There's one more to try, and that's my pointy beast. Let me just lather up a bit more, and let me just wipe off a little bit of lather, because these blades are absolutely immaculate, completely mint, and I want to keep them that way. Carbon steel, not to be trusted. A little bit of warm moistness on it and they can be letting you down. Anyway, that's the one to come next. Now this one, again, is a half hollow. Half hollow, 10/8, carbon steel, A1 carbon steel. It's the one where I have actually blunted very, very tiny amount off the very, very tip. 1 millimeter is all it took, because it had a surgically sharp scalpel point, which kept finding me and slicing me. So gently though, I couldn't really feel it. Anyway, don't want to waste any more time. Let's just try this one last test. So, Max Spreacher Extreme Spanish Point. This was going to go against the grain. Oh, yeah, very nice. Yeah. It's still got to be watched. That's a heck of a point still. Yeah, it's nice. I like it. Out of all the razors, this one is probably the most potentially naughty. She's a little bit pointy. Takes a little bit more thought and handling, but what a dramatic, beautiful looking creature it is. Just wipe some stuff off. As you can hear, it's quite noisy, even on this second pass. But it is a lovely piece of steel. All my tests are purely subjective. I just love to experiment. I would still say that this one, although it's a beautiful edge, this one does take a little bit of practice. Actually, I've got to say, it has improved it having the tip taken off. If nothing else, it's less risky. However, let's go back to my rather beautiful French point and see how that coat's going across the moustache. Actually, as I suspect, there's nothing in it. In fact, the pointy one is slightly better. Intriguing. So, I would say, without going mad and without boring you all to death, at the moment, I would say a quarter hollow, like this beautiful thing, a quarter hollow or a half hollow is fine. If you want feedback, then you want the half hollow. If you want a blisteringly sharp good shave without any feedback, well, without hardly any feedback, then the quarter hollow. The quarter hollow has that confidence to it. It is absolutely massive, and I've got to say, beautiful. Can hardly hear it. But it's cutting. Yep, it's cutting, but not much. Because there's not much left. Yeah. So, pays your money, takes your choice. I would say at the moment, even though normally I enjoy noisy feedback, I'd say that this is very comfortable. Yep, it is. It's very, very lovely. Yeah. But I do like the heft of a big razor. Anyway, chaps, I'm not going to waste too much of your time. I would honestly say, if you like feedback, go for a half hollow. But for blistering sharpness, this is lovely. Can't find any more stubble, sorry. Anyway, chaps, there we have it in brief. Here we have, I'll just fold them up. That's two perfect, absolutely perfect half hollows. 10/8. And here is two absolutely perfect quarter hollows, and I'd hate to have to choose between them. The only one that's slightly not as good is the one that I put the edge on, because it had a warp, and I think it might have preferred a JNAT, a Japanese natural stone edge. This is something to be played with in the future. Anyway, chaps, let me just wash some of this off. Yeah, it feels pretty good to me. I'll give a little bit of a touch up in a sec before disappearing. Anyway, thank you for watching. A Max Spreacher shootout. See you all next time. Thanks for following my channel.